Last time I covered every Season 3 Symbiote skin in Marvel Rivals, and you guys very politely told me that I missed a few. Fair. So, welcome to Part 2, the Outliers. These are the skins Rivals didn't bundle into the main Season 3 Symbiote lineup, but are still dripping with Symbiote DNA. Some are pulled straight from Marvel Comics. Others are Rivals' own creations, like Venom's Reborn King in Black or Luna's Abyssal Glow. So if the last video was the official tour, this one's the bonus round. The deep cuts, the experiments, and the fever dreams that make Rivals' symbiote catalog even messier. Let's dig in. Iron Man's Extrembiote armor. This one's ripped straight from King in Black #2. With Earth overrun by Null's symbiotes, Tony Stark takes a desperate gamble. He tears a chunk off a symbiote dragon, splices it with Extremis, and forges the Extrembiote, a techno-organic suit that's equal parts Iron Man armor and living infection. And the game doesn't just port the look, it cranks it up. The comic version reads mostly black with organic edges. Rivals shifts the base color to purple, leans tentacle happy, and mutates his right arm into a monster limb. Think William Birkin energy. The mask goes half and half, showing Tony's face with glowing green eyes and the Null symbol stamped on his forehead, while the comic kept the classic helmet. Add in the green pustules and jagged plating, and the Rivals version is louder, nastier, and way more explicit about Tony flirting with alien infection. One of the clearest cases where the in-game skin feels like a real upgrade over the comic. From Extrembiote, we move to another Tony special, the Superior Armor. In Rivals, the skin is literally called Superior Armor, with its first appearance tagged as Superior Iron Man issue #1. In the comics though, it's officially known as the Endo-Sim Armor, cataloged as Model 50, and fans often just call it the Superior Suit since it debuted in the Superior Iron Man run. This came right after the Axis event, where a magic spell inverted the morality of Marvel's heroes and villains. Everyone else eventually snapped back to normal, except Tony. He stayed inverted, and with his ego unchecked, he built the Endo-Sim. And this wasn't a bolt-on machine. The suit is liquid metal, flowing over his body like a living second skin. Tony openly admits he modeled it after symbiote biology, using psionic control to mimic how the Clintar bond with hosts. It's not a true Venom-style symbiote, but a man-made cousin, an artificial goo suit powered by Tony's worst instincts. Rivals stays really faithful, just rivalizes it. The armor is bulkier overall, with a darker silver tone instead of the bright comic version. The blue energy streaks are still there, just redrawn in new patterns, and the shoulder pods are blown up to match the game's chunkier aesthetic. Otherwise, it's almost 1-to-1. Don't get mad at me here. And that's fine, because the original Endo-Sim design was already a killer look. Like Anti-Venom later, this is another riff on the symbiote idea, Tony's corruption running parallel to Eddie's cure. Next up is Peni Parker, with her Venom skin tagged as Edge of Spider-Geddon issue #2. In that issue, Penny meets Addie Brock. Yep, another Brock. And her mech, Venom. It runs on a sim engine that completely melts down, turning the machine into a biomechanical parasite that fuses with Addie. The comic Venom is hulking, chaotic, and clearly inspired by Evangelion Unit 1, with its lanky limbs and glowing green streaks. Now Rivals takes that concept but spins it into something new. Instead of Penny fighting the Venom mech, the skin asks, what if she wore it? That's why I tagged it as loosely inspired by the comic, because the changes are big. The shoulders are bulked up to keep her silhouette consistent, and the chest symbol has been stripped down. Not much of a spider anymore unless you tilt your head to the left and squint a little bit. They did keep the green highlights, but now as clean lights instead of the biomech veins. The wrist guards remain, but are reworked, and the head swaps Venom's jaw for a more insectoid helmet. I'll be honest here, I wish they'd lean closer to the comic. Venom in Edge of Spider-Geddon was tall, slim, and biomechanical, dripping with symbiote chaos. Rivals went bulkier and more armored to keep it in line with Penny's usual spider builds. And I get it, it works for consistency and readability, but the thinner, creepier comic look would have sold the symbiote vibe even harder. From mech nightmares to Asgardian horror, here's Loki's All-Butcher skin. Rivals tags it as first appearance in Thor issue number 6, where Loki bonds with All-Black the Necro Sword, the very first symbiote forged by Null. The sword twists him into something terrifying. He slaughters Ego the Living Planet just to prove his strength, then calls himself Loki the Necro God, the All-Butcher, even Loki the End. It's one of the rare moments Loki drops the Mischief Act and leans fully into cosmic horror. The rival's skin makes changes but stays faithful to that vision. His silhouette shifts from flowing robes to a chest guard heavy design with glowing green flares. The shoulders are bulkier and more armored but still feel organic. The helmet's horns twist into tendrils, now paired with a face guard, and the armored boots finish the vibe. Loki in full-on medieval demonic armor. It's a great translation. It matches Rivals' chunkier base style while still pulling from the comic look. If Extrembiote is Tony experimenting with symbiote tech, All-Butcher is Loki throwing himself straight into Null's abyss. And Rivals makes him look like he belongs there. And rounding out the comic pulls is Eddie Brock's Anti-Venom, first appearing in Amazing Spider-Man issue 569 during the New Ways to Die arc. Eddie had been separated from the Venom symbiote and was dying of cancer, until Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, used his healing powers on him. That touch accidentally fused Eddie's antibodies with the lingering symbiote traces still in his body, creating something brand new, the Anti-Venom. It's still a symbiote, but inverted. The white and black suit grants Eddie the same strength and shapeshifting, but instead of corrupting, it purges, burning away toxins, curing disease, and literally dissolving other symbiotes on contact. Rivals nails that inversion with a few stylistic twists. The comic version had a mostly black face, which Rivals dropped for a cleaner all-white look. The chest spider's still there, but it's tamed down a bit. Eddie's bulked up overall to keep Venom's hulking silhouette, and the skin adds those black rectangles on the back of his hands. A Rivals only touch that actually works because it's true to Venom's original design. The orange eyes and mouth are kept, but the eyes pop much more prominently. It's bigger, sharper, and meaner, but still recognizable as Eddie's cure for an infection form. Where Extrembiote and Superior lean into corruption, Anti-Venom stands as the flip side, the antidote to a roster full of goo monsters. So that covers the comic-tied symbiote skins of this video, the ones you can point to in an issue and pull receipts. But Rivals didn't stop there. They also cooked up their own experiments. Original designs with no direct panel, but plenty of symbiote DNA. Some riff on Null's aesthetic, others fuse Phoenix Fire, and a few are straight up Rivals fever dreams. Let's check out the originals now. In Rivals, Hela doesn't just rule hell. She ends up wearing the crown of the Abyss itself. The hints were there early, with her voice lines to Venom about Null keeping his greedy god out of her business.
You are one of Null's creatures.
You don't miss much.
Your god is greedy. I warned him to stay away from what is mine.
Then you made sure he's coming after you.
By season 3, the corruption is full on canon. In the Phoenix 7 gallery entry, Jean describes finding not Null, but a new Queen in Black, Hela, boosted by an unholy union with Null that even the Phoenix couldn't withstand. Her skin tone makes that corruption loud and clear. The Null red swirl is stamped right on her forehead like a brand of allegiance. The crown of thorns is gone, her mask stripped away, and her skin tone drained to a pale purple, leaning harder into the death goddess vibe. Behind her head, a symbiotic swirl acts as a crown or mantle, while her cloak becomes a transparent sheet of red, laced with Null's patterns. Even her night sword shows the infection, its edges crawling with symbiote textures and blood red glow. Across her chest and back runs the massive red dragon motif pulled straight from Null's design, and red swirls thread through the whole armor to sell the corruption. It's not a comic lift, there's no 616 panel to point to, but in Rivals continuity, this look is completely earned. Hela isn't just borrowing Null's aesthetic. She's narratively bound to him, carrying his infection and serving as one of the biggest threats in Season 3's story. Cloak and Dagger, Bucky, and Venom are all part of the Abyssal Flame setting game, and they also have this really awesome intro video that ties together all three of them. Now, unfortunately, we don't get a step-by-step origin for how they changed like Blade did, but the theme is the same. Fragments of Phoenix Fire colliding with symbiote corruption and reshaping heroes caught in the middle. For Cloak and Dagger, the concept is executed beautifully. They embody the polarity of light and dark, Dagger channeling the Phoenix Flame while Cloak leans into the abyss. Dagger's looks seemingly pull heavily from South Asian bridal and Afghan coin jewelry, with a headpiece draping across her forehead. Her colors burn bright orange with flame details, paired with bird-like feather armor at her waist, knees, and shoulders. She's showing a lot of skin here too. Scandalous, but it's fitting, and her long braids even mimic a peacock's tail feathers, tying her back into the phoenix imagery. Cloak, meanwhile, stays true to his unsettling mystique. His body is still an open window to the cosmos, but here it's corrupted with symbiote flair. White and purple dread-like tendrils, golden chains across his chest, and a green jewel on his shoulder to mirror Dagger's. His arms sprout spikes, because rivals cannot resist the spikes, but it actually works here. Honestly, I really like the skin overall. I bought it, it's the main one I'm running right now for Cloak and Dagger, and it just nails the balance of style and lore. Now, Bucky's Polarity soldier skin is the odd one out here. Let's address the elephant in the room right away. His massive beak. It's clearly meant as a Plague Doctor nod, but it's divisive. And I say that as someone who loves Plague Doctor designs. The rest of the skin, though, is fantastic. Like Blade's Polarity Edge, it leans into medieval armor. Giant gold shoulders and gauntlets on his right side with a blazing phoenix emblem across his chest, while his left side is taken over by jagged purple symbiote plating. He's got the phoenix belt buckle and chainmail we've seen across the line, and long symbiotic hair to match Cloak's tendrils. Thematically, Bucky fits right in. A soldier split down the middle by Phoenix in the abyss. The execution? Mixed. The armor is great, the beak is not for everyone. But as part of the Abyssal Flame set, it still delivers on the idea and makes him feel like he belongs in this corrupted roster. Blade's Polarity Edge skin isn't just a rival's fever dream. It's straight out of the Infinity comic, issues number 16 and 17 specifically. Shuri pitches the idea, Jean amps his vampiric powers, Blade bites into Hela's corrupted life force, and then Hela stabs him with her night sword, supercharging the whole ritual. The result is a full transformation where Blade declares, "I can feel it, the awesome might of the Phoenix Force, the ruthless strength of the symbiotes, combined." That's the exact skin you see in-game, and Rivals absolutely nailed the look. They deck Blade out in medieval-style armor, which is such a killer direction for him. His kit mixes regal gold plating with deep purple accents, a perfect way to sell the balance of Phoenix light and symbiote darkness. The gold chest armor on one half of his upper body, covering his right arm, is one of the coolest armor pieces I've ever seen in this game. It looks almost like a figure, maybe meant to represent Jean or the Phoenix, and it instantly reminded me of D, Hunter of the Dead from Elden Ring. They even updated his hairstyle, switching from cornrows to a wavier cut. It's a small change, but it shows the devs really cared about representation here. His golden belt buckle carries a phoenix symbol with chainmail draped from it to complete the medieval vibe. It's regal, brutal, and mythic all at once. Easily one of my favorite skins in Rivals, and one that feels truly earned because the Infinity comic made it canon. Luna's Abyssal Glow is another Rivals original, but it pushes the concept a step further. The Abyssal Flame line is all about Phoenix Fire meeting Symbiote Darkness, and Luna adds her own signature twist. Ice. It turns her into a three-way split. 1 part Phoenix, 1 part Abyss, and 1 part Ice Goddess. The skin was pretty controversial when it dropped in the Season 4 Battle Pass, mostly because of the mask. Online, a lot of people thought it looked less like a symbiote face covering and more like some kind of growth stuck to her cheek. And I'll be honest here, it's jarring, and it holds the whole design back. Outside of that though, Abyssal Glow has a lot going for it. Her hair shifts to blue and red streaks, which is a subtle nod to the fire and ice theme that defines this skin for Luna. She's rocking a Phoenix-style tailpiece on her right side, while her left side is reinforced with icy armor. One half of her body is decked in Phoenix symbiote plating, while the other is locked in ice, making her look like she's carrying 3 forces at once. Overall, it absolutely nails the theme, even if the mask design keeps it from being a perfect hit. Luna ends up being the outlier of the Abyssal Flame set, but in a good way. She shows how Rivals isn't afraid to experiment, even if it sparks debate. And then there's Venom's Reborn King in Black, the climax skin of the entire Season 3 story. After being locked up by Null, Venom gets bailed out in the most unhinged way possible. The Phoenix egg hatches, and the Phoenix straight up tells him that it gave him the power because, and I quote, "They said they loved us." That's canon. You can't beat that. The skin itself is as wild as the story beat. Venom sprouts bird-like feathers from his head and shoulders, a flaming phoenix crest blazes across his chest, his hands turn fiery and transparent, and a full-on peacock tail fans out behind him. The detail that sells it for me though, is Eddie Brock's face emerging from Venom's open maw, with a long, flaming tongue lashing out like he's half consumed and half possessed. It's disturbing and awesome at the same time. Now, if you look closer, you'll spot subtle constellations glimmering across the skin, which is one of those small touches that makes it feel cosmic rather than just chaotic. And yeah, they even gave him fiery chicken feet, because why not at this point? And what really makes this whole situation even better is how the Rivals Infinity comic plays it out. Blade had just bitten Hela and unlocked his Polarity Edge form, Symbiote plus Phoenix, and he's hyping himself up as the one man strong enough to take down Null. He literally declares himself the only person to wield both powers. And then Venom strolls in with his Reborn King in Black upgrade, instantly stealing Blade's thunder. It's awkward, it's funny, and it perfectly sells how ridiculous this whole setup is. The skin itself is controversial. People love it or hate it. I'm firmly in the love camp. I own it, I use it, and I think it's glorious nonsense. Symbiotes are supposed to be weak to fire, so technically this skin shouldn't even exist. But Rivals clearly isn't worried about strict canon here. And honestly, I am glad it doesn't. It's Venom, Phoenix fueled, cosmic, ridiculous, and absolutely unforgettable. So that's every Outlier symbiote skin in this video. The ones that the devs didn't bundle into Season 3, but that still carry the slime, the shadow, or the corrupted DNA of Marvel's symbiote legacy. But please, do not hesitate to roast me in the comments if I forgot anything. Some of these skins have clean comic receipts, others are pure Rivals invention, but together they show just how flexible the symbiote aesthetic is. Which of these Outliers is your favorite? And at this rate, if NetEase keeps this up, part 3 of this video might not be optional, it might be inevitable.